Okay, so I went back to the Red Bull Athlete Performance Center in Austria, the APC, to do some pre-season testing, and in this video I'm going to tell you all about how it went. Obviously, I'd been out to Austria last year when I had my injury, and the amount that we discovered and kind of went through and the journey back to racing went so much better than I ever could have imagined. So I decided that it would be really useful to go back out to Austria and do some testing, kind of see where my fitness is at, so we know what direction my training needs to go in for the first few months of the season, and also just to look at if I've got any weaknesses or areas that could kind of escalate into an injury risk. So we wanted to kind of dive into those to make sure that there wasn't anything that looked like it could be a risk for this season, and if there was, we could develop a strength and conditioning program or a mobility program that would prevent that developing into an injury or a problem later in the season.
We have prepared leg press,
okay.
So single leg press, just to see differences, and if,
okay, yeah,
because in the leg press we also have the hip helping.
Yes.
We'll do that. We'll do hip profile in the Kangatek.
Yeah.
I think we didn't do any of these.
No, I don't think so. No, so yeah, it's all new.
Yeah. And then we'll do some calf test.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we'll do the running.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Basically, as soon as I arrived, they got me straight into work. So we started by looking at the amount of force that I can deliver from both legs as one thing, and then my legs as an individual. So to see if there was any imbalances. The main thing we wanted to look at was the hip, because obviously I'd had the major injury there last year. So we were really just looking at if there was a big imbalance between the two legs. Feels a bit like you're going on a roller coaster.
Yeah. Then you have the green line would be the right leg, the black line, the left leg, and the red line would be both of them together.
Okay, cool.
And the test itself is going to be 2 sets of 3 reps.
Okay, yeah.
And it has to be as hard as you can.
Okay, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let's go?
Yeah.
And 3, 2, 1, it comes. And let's go. Come on, up. Let's go again. Come on, push. Last one. Come on, up. First set, done. And let's go. Come on, up. Nice. Let's go. Push.
So that's this leg?
That's this leg.
What's this little one gonna do?
Come on, let's go. Come on. Okay. Close to the first set.
Not bad.
Now the second one needs to be better, and that's it. Come on. Up. Push. And relax.
I'm happy to report that actually the hip is looking really good, and the amount of force that the hip could deliver was pretty much within such a small range that they were super happy with that. There still are slight imbalances, but actually none of them are coming from the hip itself. And as a whole, there is a good amount of strength in the legs. It's now about trying to just make that as balanced between the two as possible.
Let's go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Up, 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 up. And relax. Nice. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Come on, Lucy. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Up, 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 up. And relax. Nice.
My brain just exploded.
Ready?
Yeah.
2, 1, and let's go. Come on, Lucy. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Up, up, up. Push, 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 push. And relax. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Come on, come on, come on. Push, 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 push. And relax. Nice.
Excuse me, what the hell are you doing?
Making coffee. It's an insult to the Afro coffee, and I put it in an Afro teacup as well.
So the second thing that we really wanted to look at was the way that I run. Obviously, the last time I was out at the APC, I couldn't actually run. We did a walking analysis. So this time we did a movement analysis followed by a run analysis. So for this, I had to get marked up with all the different sensor markers, and then basically on the screen it will look like there's a skeleton of me doing any movement that I do. So we can really look at the amount of force that each side is producing, and also the way in which each joint and limb is moving basically.
And now we're going to place the headband.
Okay, yeah, we can swap
It's
it.
very similar.
It will do.
So the ball looks forward.
So strange to take your eyes away and then you just want to...
I know, it's so tempting to just open them.
Something that was really interesting was that when I did a double leg jump, my right leg actually did most of the work. However, when I did a single leg jump, left and right, they were actually fairly balanced, so that I'm still maybe slightly compensating subconsciously because there had been an injury in that left side, but actually the left side has the ability to produce as much power as the right.
Felt like I was going to go with
Maybe
it.
we do form with the right one, huh? Which ones are your favorite?
The Metaspeed Sky Plus, which are the ones that I race in, the blue and green ones.
It was really interesting to see that my hips, again, are really, really balanced, so there's no problem coming from the hip. So it was a really big progression forward from when we were kind of watching videos of me running before back in 2021 to now. There has been a huge amount of progress. So that's obviously a testament to the program that they devised for me to follow and the fact that I was able to follow it and really improve the strength and balance in my hips. Again, there's still things that we can work on and improve on in terms of the way that I'm running and kind of balancing out both sides. So quite a lot of my strength and conditioning will be single leg work, but we will also do some double leg work where I just focus in on making sure that I am using that left side as much as the right. The kind of percentage difference was very small. We're just being super picky to make sure that this doesn't become something big, because when you're training the volume that we are as long distance triathletes, something really, really small can actually escalate into something quite big. Maybe if I wasn't training the volumes that I was, we wouldn't even see it as an issue, but for now we're going to be super picky and really make sure that there's zero risk of anything happening this year.
Awesome. Yep. Thank you.
Every time I close my eyes.
So I guess one of the main things I was going out to Austria for was the lab testing. We were going to do some endurance testing, kind of just to see where my fitness is at this really early part in the season.
Every time I close my eyes.
It's a two-phase protocol.
Yeah.
So the first phase is a step test protocol.
Okay, cool.
We start with 100 watt for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The increment is 25 watt for another 3 minutes.
Okay,
So
cool.
after each stage, I take the lactate sample on the ear.
Yeah.
I ask you on the Borg scale about your exertion rating.
Perfect.
So please tell me a number.
Yeah.
And I will stop the first part, so it's submaximal.
Yeah.
If the lactate jumps more than 1 millimole
Okay.
from one step to the next.
Okay, cool.
Okay. You get an 8-minute break to recover a bit on the bike.
Yeah.
So 8 minutes easy cycling.
Mhm.
Then we do a VO to max ramp protocol,
Yeah.
which starts at the point where the lactate was jumping before.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe 250.
Yeah.
Then minute by minute we increase by 25
Okay, yeah.
till full exertion.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I've maximised my earlobe space with earrings.
When do you do your last stress ECG?
I don't know if I've ever done it. Yeah.
Okay. So we will do it together.
Okay, yeah.
Also blood pressure.
Yeah.
It's a bit
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done that. So.
uncomfortable, but
Yeah. Okay. This is like what Reese had to do when they were checking his heart, but I don't think I've never done this. So
Okay.
this is quite cool.
I feel like a lab rat. During the bike endurance test, we actually did an echocardiogram under stress. So we were looking at my heart when I exercise, and that was absolutely fine. We also did my blood pressure whilst I was exercising. Again, that looked really good.
3, 2, 1, and relax. Fight.
Last second.
Come on, go. Yeah, great. Come on, push. Come on, go. Increase the cadence. Come on, push. Yeah, great.
Really good.
How was it? At the end of the scale?
Very hard. It's got to be somewhere in the red.
Okay.
I don't think my brain was working enough to tell you.
What was the limit? The legs?
Yeah, the legs. That's the hardest I've worked in the back.
The engine is there.
It felt quite mean to be doing this so early after Christmas. I literally arrived in Austria and felt like a piece of cheese, the amount of cheese I'd eaten over Christmas. But I was pleasantly surprised by how both the bike and run testing went. The main thing is it just allows us to know what direction my training is going to go in. So there was a lot of things that we already knew, and it kind of would explain a lot about why I'm able to perform the way that I am as an athlete. But it was still really interesting to see that actually the fitness is in a pretty good place despite feeling like I didn't feel that fit going into them. It just allows us to guide our training a lot better. It was really cool that Dan, my coach, came down to watch the bike testing as well. So I think that was a little bit of extra motivation to be better on the test.
2, 1, and 15.5, 3 minutes.
I felt really motivated and positive with the outcome of the test, and I'm excited to now just get training. And I guess it's more knowing that the training I'm doing is exactly what I need to be doing, because those tests have kind of pushed us in that direction to focus my training in such a way. And I think it shows that with consistent hard work, I will be exactly where I want to be this year. Yeah, I think one of the most special things about this trip was the fact that I could actually train like a triathlete whilst I was there. Last time I was there, I was just starting to get back into some aqua jogging and some swimming and doing some very basic gym work to kind of start to get back into the swing of things. Whereas this time around, I could do everything. So just the novelty of running did not wear off, being there and being able to kind of run around the lake in Fuchsal, which honestly is the most amazing run I've ever done. I think it's one of the nicest places I've run. It was just lovely. Me and Holly actually did the run on the same day and we were really lucky with the weather. We also went to a pool in Salzburg, which was just really, really nice, like quite a modern pool with amazing architecture. So I just enjoyed going and swimming somewhere a bit different. The outdoor pool in Fuchsal wasn't open this time of year. And then I just did some biking at the APC. So I used the Wahoo kicker bike there. Because it was a fairly short trip, I didn't bother flying with a bike. All of my biking was indoors on Zwift, which I'm pretty used to. It was just nice to be able to follow the busy program that the APC put together for me, but also be able to do my own training around that as well. Also doing some sessions in the mental performance area and a session with the nutritionist Stephen as well. So I feel like I kind of got to use every single element again of the APC and just build a really solid foundation for going into training and working hard for this year.
and step down.
Grown 0.4 of a centimetre, I think.
We also looked into my heart, my kidneys, my liver, not when I was exercising, actually when I was laying down. So we did scans on those, which we had done back in April and May when we was in Austria last year. And again, they just looked really healthy, which was great. We looked at my lung function, which was actually improved from last year.
So deep breath, fill your lungs, and when you feel like you're ready, put the white tube into the mouth, blow out as fast, as hard as you can from the very first second on.
Okay,
so
yeah.
you try to get all the air out within 1 second.
Okay, yeah.
And then, as you might remember, hold it
yeah.
for about 5 to 6 seconds. But you don't have to count. I'm going to tell you when to stop.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's working.
Okay. And push it out, go, 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 and come on, push it out, almost there, go, 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 push, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Yes, good job.
It's harder than it looks. It gets the heart rate up.
Push it out, come on, push it out, stay upright, yeah, come on, push it out, almost there, Lucy, go, 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 3, 2, 1, stop. Yes, good job.
It's one way to wake up in the morning.
We also did bloods, and again, they look absolutely fine, no issues there. We also did a body composition test, which is not something I've ever done before, and it's not something that I really feel stressed about. It was just out of interest to see where I am at this point in the season, and again, it looked like in a pretty good place. I'm definitely heavier than maybe when I'm at peak fitness, but for this point in the season, I think that's really important, that there is no point in being race fitness and race shape all year round. I think you're at more risk of injury if you're like that. So carrying a bit of extra weight at this point in the year isn't a problem, and it'll probably just make me stronger as I go throughout the season.
Battle braids hair. And you can be a wizard.
So I think the main learnings from all of the trip and the testing was that we have made massive progress from last year, from following the guidance of the experts at the APC. We have come on leaps and bounds, and the hip is made an amazing recovery and is looking really, really strong, so that's great news. So on the flip side of that, there's still loads of things that I can work on. We're kind of focusing a lot on mobility in this new program going into the new year. There's a lot of signs that have a lot of strength. It's now kind of balancing that out so that I'm working on smaller muscle groups, not so much the big muscle groups that are really strong. It's working on the really small, minor exercises, I guess. But actually, if you work on those, all of it comes together a lot better. So I'll be working on the smaller things more in the strength and conditioning, daily mobility just to keep my body healthy and happy. And then in terms of more the actual training in terms of swim, bike and run, we will just be really building up the base and the volume at the moment. The upper limits are super high, so I don't need to be doing really, really hard training, which unfortunately for me, that's what I love doing. I love absolutely smashing it, but I don't really need to be doing that at this point in the season. I just need to be really doing consistent, steady training. So really my training's not going to be that exciting over the coming months. I'm sure there will be some hard work in there. I'd be surprised if there wasn't. And having a solid base for the season this year, I didn't have that last year because my injury and my season was actually quite short. So we're just going to make sure that I have a really solid foundation for this year to sit on.
You can see a lot more this time. I don't know if that's better or worse. Oh, wow, this is so much better. It scared me less this time. Now that's a view that we didn't get last time. Yeah. got up here in inappropriate footwear.
Yeah.
Trainers won't cut it up here. One more time. Echo.
That is the Austria trip done and dusted. Next up, I'm heading out to Lanzarote for my first camp of the year. Everything that we learned in Austria, we then put that into practice for the first camp of the year. Also, at the end of the month, I'm really excited that I'm going to get to head out to Japan with ASICS. I'm sure it's going to be a great trip and just also building a really good relationship with a brand that stood by me throughout my injury last year. So I'm hopeful that I can give back a bit to them, but also see what we can learn on that trip as well.
Becky will love this.
Hello? Ah, there's the other one there, look. He was just hyping.
Okay, so it's time to announce the winner from our last video, which was the Strava goodie bag. And for this we asked what was the best thing you did during your off season, and the winner we picked was Francesca Bolt, who went and swam in Polsey on New Year's Day. I think it was probably a bit cold, but we're going to send the goodie bag to you, so we'll send you a message and get that sent to you. Well done.
Okay, that's been a look at my trip in Austria. Thanks so much for watching. As always, stay tuned as we're going to have lots of videos coming over the early part of the season, and make sure to like and subscribe to find out when they're dropping.
And the dogs are going mad at the door like, give us our food.